This is the time of year where you can really observe and appreciate the structure of a deciduous tree. With the leaves gone, you can really get a good look at how the branches are arranged around the stem and the way the branches extend all the way out to the twigs to create a textured silhouette against the winter sky. And one of my favorite trees to appreciate in this way is actually a conifer. Now, when I say conifer, you may automatically think evergreen, but some conifers, or cone-bearing plants, are actually deciduous, like the larch and the bald cypress, and this one, the dawn redwood. This is a really great landscape tree. It's got a strong pyramidal form and remarkable bark with really unusual branch attachments, and it's feathery, soft green foliage that turns orangish to reddish brown before it falls off in the autumn, and the cones on these trees are really fascinating. Now, this tree has a really interesting story. Scientists for many years believed it to be extinct. They found fossils of this plant all over the globe, but with no living representation, until as recently as the 1940s, they found it growing in a small province in China. And the Arnold Arboretum in Massachusetts funded an expedition to go gather the seeds for this endangered plant to regrow its population. And it was immensely successful, so much to the point where it's not uncommon to see a dawn redwood in a North American landscape today. But prior to the 1940s, apparently it hadn't been on this continent for millions of years. So every time I see one in a landscape, I feel kind of lucky to be able to enjoy its beautiful form and its character. The dawn redwood is very similar in appearance to another deciduous conifer, the native bald cypress. And one of the things they have in common is a tolerance for wet soils. Many plants do not like waterlogged soil, or wet feet as they say. But the bald cypress, and to a slightly lesser extent the dawn redwood, can tolerate or even thrive in these otherwise inhospitable conditions. They're hardy from zones 4 through 8, and they're rarely seriously affected by pests and disease, and they can grow fast and tall, up to 100 feet tall, maybe even more, with a branch spread that can exceed 20 feet. So if you bear that in mind when choosing a location for this plant and give it enough room to grow, this tree will need minimal pruning. So it's a great landscape tree, and it's a great conversation piece, and there just isn't a time of year when the dawn redwood isn't at its best.